most spectacular technique in mixed martial arts has to be the one-kick knockout. Having a guy kick a guy in the face is the end-all, be-all of martial arts. This is our ultimate 8 for head kick knockouts. Number 8. Alan Belcher versus George Santiago. Alan Belcher is one of the top contenders in the UFC's middleweight division. The biggest one that he's ever landed inside the octagon was this brutal head kick knockout of George Santiago.
Bang on the button.
Number 7, George St. Pierre versus Matt Hughes. George St. Pierre lost to Matt Hughes in the first encounter by armbar, but got revenge in the second match with a vicious head kick knockout.
Big kick.
Shin to head, Matt Hughes goes down. George St. Pierre wins the UFC welterweight title.
And the torch is passed tonight.
Number 6, Rashad Evans versus Sean Salmon. The long, hard hours of training paid off for Rashad and has really improved his striking substantially. But the best example of his striking technique we've seen inside the octagon came in the form of this vicious head kick KO of Sean Salmon. This is the first and only time we have ever seen Rashad Evans kick anybody in the head like this inside the octagon. I really wish he would do it more often because the result was absolutely spectacular.
Unbelievable.
Number 5, Anthony Pettis versus Joe Lauzon. Anthony Pettis is known for the Showtime kick that he used to lift the WEC lightweight crown from Benson Henderson. But one of the most spectacular kicks that he ever landed inside the octagon was a high left kick KO that he landed on Joe Lauzon. This left kick, high kick knockout of Joe Lauzon was particularly brutal and particularly quick, letting people know that Anthony Pettis is dangerous from both sides. Number 4, Lyoto Machida versus Randy Couture. That was a technique that people thought was a joke. It was the Karate Kid move.
Oh, man. That is the Karate Kid.
It was the crane technique. When he stood up and lifted and jumped through the air, nobody thought you would ever see that in the octagon. And nobody thought you would ever see it be utilized against an all-time great like Randy Couture.
No can defend. Look at that. Brilliant. Right on the chin.
The fact that no one expected it was one of the ways that Lyoto Machida snuck it in and landed that spectacular and really unlikely technique to knock out Randy Couture. Number 3, of course, goes to Anderson Silva. When he knocked out Vitor Belfort, it wasn't just a staggering accomplishment in the fact that he had managed to stop with one strike one of the greatest fighters in the UFC's middleweight division, a guy who was the youngest tournament champ in UFC history, a guy who was UFC former light heavyweight champion, and a man who had been around the game since 1997. It was the first time we had ever seen anyone utilize that technique inside the octagon. A front kick to the face seemed like a really unlikely technique to land. The body is the most likely target for the front kick, but Anderson Silva set it up, timed it brilliantly, and landed the ball of the foot perfectly on Vitor Belfort's chin to knock him out.
Kicked him in the face.
Number 2, Edson Barbosa over Terry Edom. He landed the very first wheel kick knockout in the history of the UFC. I'm gonna take a chance and risk getting knocked out. Oh my God! A wheel kick is an absolutely spectacular technique where you torque your whole body around, spin, and land the heel on the opponent's face. It's notoriously difficult to land and time. Edson Barbosa landed a technique that knocked Terry Edom out cold before he ever hit the ground. Number 1 on our list of all-time head kick knockouts is, without a doubt, Gabriel Gonzaga's amazing victory over Mirko Cro Cop. It wasn't just the fact that Gabriel Gonzaga knocked Mirko Cro Cop out. It was the fact that he did it with Mirko Cro Cop's signature technique. His entire highlight reel is a series of one-kick KOs. So to have it done to him, Gabriel Gonzaga essentially Cro Cop, Cro Cop. And in doing so, he won #1, the top place in our all-time list of head kick knockouts.